process versus the reality of what happens with that process. And here's what I've found, and I'll be honest, while I've struggled considerably over the past months on how to land with the concept of at-will and with the annual contract and probation or not probation, it hasn't been easy. One of the things that sort of resolved me in my position was examining this reality. We've heard a lot about the fear. So let me tell you a little bit about what the reality has been for this campus. So since 2008, from what I can calculate, we've spent or incurred costs either through insurance or directly over $850,000 associated with employee separation issues. The average time for those is about 10 months. Some have actually taken years to get done. I wouldn't even want to calculate the costs and time of staff and personnel that have been redirected from focusing on students and the campus to help accommodate those. Some of you know probably better. 2008, our insurance deductible as a result of this has gone from $5,000 to $10,000 to $50,000 to $75,000. Those are real costs that we're incurring. And here for me, you know, from and certainly from an employee perspective, those are costs and they need to be considered. But those costs, if they are incurred because we catch where an employee has been wronged and reinstate them, because we catch where this fear of the manager is treating them wrong, where we catch that the relationship between the employees association, the college, has resulted in what's best for the employee and the campus, they may be worth considering. Mm-hmm. In all those cases, every single one, the finding has been in favor of the college's position. In all those there's one case where something changed, and that's actually where the board decided to overturn the hearing officer's recommendation. Mm-hmm. You know, so in the cases except where an employee who is going through the process ultimately says, I want to negotiate a settlement, and the settlements that I can see have always been initiated by the employee going through the process, where we've said the cost of continuing the process is going to be greater than the cost of doing that. In every case, the college's outcome it's been in the favor of the college. It hasn't been to reinstate the employee. It hasn't been that employee was wrong. And so the question that I have to ask is, what we know will happen, and I believe will continue to happen, is that the institution will have to validate through extensive costs and extensive times that their decisions from the beginning were right. And I don't know if that's fair, and I agree that you have a responsibility to look at the costs associated with the institution and to do that. And like I say, the evidence, the reality of what has occurred is pretty compelling.
I'm trying very hard here to balance the humanistic approach with the amount of money, and I'm aware of that decision that you mentioned about the board overturning the hearing officer's decision. I was involved in that, so I know what you're talking about. But I appreciate that information. Thank you. No more questions from me, Carol.
Those were good questions, Brenda. Yes, Trustee Mosier?